Okay, so this has colored lines.
Yes, the purple one
The
is
yellow one is what we're proposing.
correct. That's the city
The
portion.
purple one is what?
Is the purple one is the school,
Okay, and this
Trail.
black dotted one
is a property line.
is a property line,
Yes.
okay. And the Liberty Trail is the red trail.
Yes.
I
Okay.
like this better than this.
Much.
There are advantages to the iPad.
And what's the green on the other side? What's that green trail?
I think that's
The future
proposed
trail?
Future,
Proposed by us or proposed by the school?
well, proposed by us initially when we first did our first application for
Mhm.
safe routes. We had it going all the way out to the corner out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But not under current consideration.
Intercog actually put that map together, and they when we switched it to the new smaller version, I guess you'd say, they left that in there as proposed future trail, which it may or may not be.
So the purpose of this trail that we're proposing is safe routes to school for kids, right?
It's safety in total, not just for the kids. Obviously, you're gonna have 600 more pairs of feet out in that particular area. Not all of them obviously walking, not all of them accident or riding or whatever, but there's gonna be a mass increase in population in that area. But currently, even without the school, we have had people who have been forced to walk on the road in the wintertime because there's no, or when it's raining pretty heavily, the only place you can walk safely if you're gonna walk out that direction is on the road itself, which is not ideal for safety reasons.
I've heard a lot of concern about water, since we've been talking about this, going into buildings and one thing. I don't know if that's been analyzed and thought about very much. It was just briefly talked about at the meeting, but other than that,
As soon as they go ahead, John.
John Crawford with Crawford Engineering and Independence. We have done most of the surveying on this except for the area up by the school on the Liberty Trail, waiting for the snow to melt to get in there and finish that up. But in general, the drainage is away from First Avenue to the south. So, and we're not gonna change that. The drainage immediately east of the preschool or the daycare area there drains. It's gonna drain in a swale, if you call it that, because it's really not a ditch there. The foreslope comes down and just kind of blends into the school property there and the Kidsville property. But that water is gonna go east to where the drainage ditch is now, which we're putting a pipe in there so that we can put the trail over the top of it, and we're not restricted there with that access way or the old Liberty Trail. So that we don't have the driveway and the new trail on top of one another. We're gonna fill in that ditch there between Second Street and First Street and put the trail right over that. That's the plan. And we've looked at, the floor elevations out there, and the best place to put the trail is up there next to First Street, because it's gonna be the minimum amount of fill that goes in. If we go out and build a grade some distance removed from that, then we've got to get the drainage between First Street west and the trail. We've got to accommodate that drainage somehow, which is going to be with a bunch of structures, and that's going to increase the cost of it. So that's why we want to put the trail 4 feet off the back of the curb, just like it's on First Street East out here. We put a 8-foot trail on each side of First Street East, and we had a very similar situation to what you have in this First Street West corridor. There was no place for the pedestrians to navigate. They'd walk on the street if they were going to walk any place. So it's a similar type situation. It's going to accommodate, I'm sure, school kids, but it's going to accommodate everybody else too that's not in a vehicle.
And that's where like the genesis of this project, you know, really came from, was when we did that, did the visioning in 2010. I mean, this is one of the core things that, that visioning committee talked about, was getting some type of either sidewalk or trail or something, either on the north side or south side of that First Street, to get people off the road and to get access from that west end down, so. I know we've looked at, we looked at the north side of the road too, and I think that was gonna be even harder to try and do like a
Yes.
sidewalk there than it would be a trail on the south side.
Because the drainage on the north side is draining down to First Street West, and then it can't get over the road grade. I mean, we've gotta handle it there. This way, it's a lot of the sheet drainage, you know, is running off the slope and it's going down through the turf areas there around the school. We're not gonna dump water on anybody, because this trail is, it's a rather expensive entity here that you're looking at. I think the initial estimate that we put together was something like $212,000, pretty close to that. And this is something that's gonna be there a long time. And, I remember doing the 3-lane out there, and that took care of the vehicle congestion, but we still didn't accommodate the pedestrians. And you drive out there in the wintertime when there's snowbanks on both sides and people are walking in the street, wanna be there.
You say it's not gonna change the water runoff, right, John?
We're not changing, where the water's going anyplace.
But you're gonna fill them ditches in, right?
Well, we're gonna add an embankment. We're gonna
Right.
extend the roadway grade
Maybe you
to
won't
the south.
exactly fill them, but it's gonna restrict them 50%.
The fill is gonna go what, in the area is what you'd consider a ditch right now.
Right.
That's where it's gonna go.
So that,
So it's shifting everything about 14 feet
right.
is what's happening.
This is all on the south side,
It's
everything
all
you're
on the
talking
south
about.
side, all the way from Liberty Trail out to the
No
old
Ford
Hardee's site.
dealerships or Pizza Huts involved or anything?
No.
Okay. When we first put a shovel in the ground about the new high school, I got 2 or 3 calls from citizens wanting to know about the runoff into that, I don't know what the name of that little creek is on the south side. I always call it the dry run, but,
Driscoll's
what is it?
Driscoll's Dry Run.
Driscoll's
Yeah,
Dry Run, I
okay.
think is what you're talking about.
They lived along that creek, and they were concerned about the runoff, and I called the school for them. Talked to Gene, I think, maybe somebody else. Anyway, they said they were gonna put in a retention pond that would take care of all of that. Do you know if that's being done, or will be
No.
done, or?
The school on their site
This
has
is
a
a school.
retention pond.
Yeah,
Yes,
is that gonna help with this water runoff?
yes.
Okay.
At the school site,
Yeah,
yes.
but we don't
But
incorporate any,
not the runoff from the sidewalks,
no.
just from the
I
school.
know this is too far away for that. But, all those, and I'm not anti-school by any stretch of the imagination, but, the thing I was just bothering myself with this afternoon, I got plenty of time to bother myself, is who is the school's responsibility and cost, and who is our responsibility in this trail that's gonna go on, you know, the McDonald's and everybody
Mhm.
through there? Is that a city expense?
Yes,
Is that the maintenance of it, city also?
that's right.
And will that be the street department, or will it be the park, do you think, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's gonna be Parks and Rec because they handle the one out east. Along First Street East, the 2 trails there, when the snow is plowed off the street, then they come through with their equipment and remove the snow from those trails there.
Yeah, that would be the plan for Park and Rec.
For Park and Rec, I wouldn't say a complaint, but a pointed question about it, you know, from the Park and Rec employees about that, you know, about adding to their workload, so on and so forth. Maybe that just has to be. I don't know. I, of course, sympathized with them and said it was terrible. No, they weren't bad about it at all. They just said, I don't know if that's a good idea to be plowing those sidewalks, you know, but.
Well, now, this is a trail, and Steve mentioned that, you know, there's some definite width, established in each category. If it's a sidewalk, it's 4 or 5 or 6 feet, but if it's a trail, it starts at 8 feet. It can be 8, 10, or 12, but,
Maybe that's
this
why they were-
case-
maybe that's why they were worried about it.
very possibly. One of the things we've discussed in the committee is, you know, the fact that, acceptance by the adjacent property owners that were going by there. And, we think one of the selling points is the city's gonna be taking care of the maintenance of it in
Mhm.
terms of snow removal. But we do that on the trail south on 150 that goes down to 3 Elms Road,
Mhm.
and we do that on First Street East, so it's not any different than what the practice that we've been involved in here.